So I beat Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart for the PS5 the other day, and I want to talk about it.
Resistance members, report to the VIP section of your nearest intake facility for compulsory behavioral modification. It will be fun. Fun.
If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, leave a comment down below. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart is a beautiful game. The graphics are remarkable. The style of gameplay, at some points it reminded me of like a Doom game, but it's third person, but like you're just swapping between guns and it's just pure mayhem with the gameplay and the shooting, and I really enjoyed it. Other aspects were like platforming games, and the whole thing looks like a Pixar movie, and the loading times are pretty much non-existent. Like they kind of hide them in the gameplay, and it really showcases the performance of the PS5 and the capabilities of it. It's a shame that more games don't have the attention to detail and the love and care put into them like Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart on the PS5. The controller adds so much to that game with the sounds and then the vibrations following the sounds that come out of the speaker, and it just makes it feel like you're engrossed in the game through the screen. I played it on a 27-inch OLED, and it just looked so good, so amazing. And then having the audio come out of the speakers, the speaker on the controller, along with the haptic feedback with the different weapons, and then using the vibration to kind of make the sounds feel more impactful. It just really made me realize the possibilities with the PS5 controller and the PS5 in general. Again, it's just kind of sad that they don't really utilize that in a ton of different games, and it was just kind of like a showcase of the the things that are capable of, just to kind of get people to buy the PS5, and then they kind of like don't really utilize it anymore. But this game, the story is really good. I wasn't really a fan of the Ratchet and Clank, I don't remember what one, 2016 maybe, the one for the PS4. Like, I enjoyed the story a little bit, but there were some parts of that game that just didn't sit right with me. I just kind of felt like it was not as well crafted as it should have been, and this game is not that at all. This game, literally the story had me like almost tearing up at some points. Like, it's not that serious, but some of it was just kind of like heartwarming. And the adventure that you go on with the characters that you go on, like it's almost like they doubled it up. So it was Ratchet and Clank and then the two other characters, and it's like now you go on an adventure with two robots, and they swap the robots between the two most of the story, and then they finally get back at the end, and it's like a great adventure, a great story, a beautiful setting. The level designs are amazing. The traversal is amazing. Having you be able to go through rifts and like teleport, it like brings it to you. It's really remarkable when you see it in action. And it makes me really happy to have played this game. It was on my backlog for like 3 or 4 years. And so I finally hopped in on it, and I'm just a quick, 15-hour adventure. Didn't overstay its welcome. Didn't try to trick me and say, oh, it's almost done, and then, oh, there's another 10 hours of gameplay like some games do. So the game feels complete, and it feels like it's not there to extend. Like there is options for you to continue playing after you finish, but it doesn't make you go out and try to over level and try to add in a bunch of padding to keep you playing for 30 hours. You can if you want to, but if you want to just go through the story and skip the side missions, you can do that and just enjoy the game through without feeling like you're under leveled, because there's plenty of bolts and experience out there for you to get. So leveling up your weapons just kind of comes naturally, and whatever ones you want to use, and once they get maxed out, you kind of put them to the back so you can level up your other stuff and get better with the weapons that you have, and then choose what you want to do your money upgrades with. And I really enjoyed the game, and I didn't think I would as much as I did. So it's fun for me that I'm excited to play a game like that again in the future. The movement is amazing. Being able to use technology to like shift, dodge, double jump, pull yourself through rifts, pull out the guns, just a full-on shooter, platformer, traversal game, and it's so dialed in, and it's so polished. It's polished beyond belief. I didn't see any type of sketchiness, any type of shortcuts that they took, any type of like major frame drops where it just got chugging. It just seemed like it was an interactive movie, but the story helped guide you through the game. So like the story it didn't feel like a movie in the sense that you weren't playing, you were just only watching. It felt like it looked like a movie, and then you were interacting with the movie the entire time besides the cutscenes, and the cutscenes weren't that frequent. So it just felt like it complemented the gameplay, and I really think that they did a good job with that. Because some games, they're just too much video. You're just sitting there and you're watching a 3-hour movie and then you're walking through a hallway. Like, this is not that. This is action-packed. Like I said earlier, it gave me Doom vibes, like the Doom 2018 game, or 2016? I don't remember. I think it's 2016. But it gave me those type of vibes. I know that's a first-person shooter, but it just felt like I was getting in a flow state there. Hop, slide, then switch my weapon, and then go, and then it just felt like I was really powerful and using all like grenades, then switch over, use the thing that slows them down, then you can back up and you can hit them with the hammer, then you could blast. Like, it just felt like I was getting into this flow once I understood the mechanics and understood all the weapons at my disposal and their functions, and then started upgrading them and blast them with the scatter shot. Like, it just felt rewarding and impactful to be able to kind of unleash on these enemies and these waves of enemies that would come up. And there's so much character variety in the enemies because you're going to like different dimensions and different levels, and the design are completely different and the enemies are completely different. So they did such a good job with having a variety of enemies where you don't feel like you're fighting the same bad guys over and over again. Which, I don't know, I would probably say 15 types of enemies, I guess. Like, if you really start to break it down, there's a couple different, like, per place that you're going through. 3, 6, 9, 12. Yeah, like, a few different bosses. Dope. Some of the major story beats where they make you interact with the bosses, and there's a couple repetitive bosses that you fight over and over, but eventually they just are kind of like large enemies, I guess. So it'll be like a pre boss where you like gotta take this guy down. It's not too crazy. I died a few times. I kept it on like the normal mode. I definitely could have done a harder difficulty. After playing it, I realized I probably only died like 5 times. And it's like, yeah, I could have, but I didn't. This is like my first full-on. I did Going Commando a long time ago on the PS2, and I remember that being really fun and really enjoyable. But I didn't feel super confident that I was going to be able to just burn through this game. So if I did it again, I would probably go on a harder difficulty because some of it just kind of felt like I could have used a little more restriction on the ammo. Like, because I feel like no matter, or the health drops because everybody's dropping health and ammo like on the regular mode, so it just felt like I could have used a little bit more difficulty, but it was great overall. The game is just kind of trippy. I wanted to make a point of saying that because it really, the way that you're traveling through dimensions and the way that you're doing the way that the story is presented, it's just like kind of crazy. It's crazy and it's enjoyable, and I really like it. The sound is awesome too. The game design of the weapons, they're all different sounding and different impact when you're pressing the triggers. And there's different difficulty with pressing the triggers, and then there's sound coming out of the microphone also, or out of the controller audio, and it's vibrating at different rates with the weapon that you have. So it's just so engaging and so enjoyable to play. So Ratchet and Clank Ripped Apart, PS5, nice showcase. Thanks for tuning in.